Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Sex Here and Now. As always, I am your host, Matt Lockman. I'm a licensed clinical therapist and ASEX certified sex therapist. I am back with another one of my fun musings. This one, you guessed it, all about some butt stuff. As always, please rate, review, and pass this episode on to anyone who you think needs it. Engagement really helps get this podcast to the masses. And hey, we all agree more people need to hear sex positivity. Before we begin, you can also find me on all social media at Cleveland Sex Therapy. And if you like to watch, which I know you do, you kinky SOB, head on over to YouTube and check out the video of this episode. Listen, it's time. We have to talk about pegging. I know all of you have been patiently waiting for this. And I know some of you are already thinking, nope, not for me. But I want you to slow that reaction down just for a second. Pegging is not just about a sexual act. It is about challenging some really old ideas about what sex is supposed to look like, who is allowed to experience pleasure, and what roles we are expected to play. If you are a straight guy listening to this, stay with me. And if you are a woman who has never considered this before, you might want to lean in a little bit because this is a bigger conversation than you think. For the guys, we have to start with self-exploration. Before bringing a partner into something new, especially something that carries this much weight, you have to get curious about your own body, your own reactions, and honestly, your fears. This is becoming more talked about, but that does not mean it feels easy. And I just realized I did not tell any of you what pegging is. So, pegging at its core is when a vulva owner uses a strap on to penetrate a penis owner, often stimulating the prostate, which can feel incredibly pleasurable. But for a lot of men, this is not just physical, it is psychological. You are shifting roles. You are stepping outside of what you were taught sex is supposed to be. Many men are used to being the one penetrating, and now they are in the position of being penetrated. That can bring up vulnerability in a way that feels unfamiliar and, quite honestly, threatening. Because that moment right there, staying in your body, that is actually what all of this comes down to. That vulnerability you might feel is not a problem. It is the point. Being open to a different kind of sensation and a different role challenges a lot of scripts we have been handed about masculinity, about control, and even about, what pleasure is allowed to look like. Mindset is everything here. If fear is leading, your body will tighten, your mind will speed up, and the experience is just not going to feel good. If curiosity leads, if you go slow, if you give yourself permission to explore instead of perform, everything shifts. This is also where trust becomes essential. You are not just trying something new physically, you are letting someone see you in a way that might feel exposing. That requires communication, it requires reassurance, it requires the ability to pause and check in without shame. When that trust is there, you are not just exploring pegging, you are practicing vulnerability, expanding your definition of pleasure, and learning how to stay present even when something feels unfamiliar. So, wherever this lands for you, whether it is a hard no, Matt, I already turned off the episode, a maybe, or something that sparks curiosity, take this with you. Your sexuality is allowed to evolve. It is allowed to surprise you. It is allowed to challenge the rules you were taught growing up. Pegging is not something you have to do. It is something you get to explore if it feels right. And even if you never try it, the conversation itself opens the door to something bigger, which is understanding pleasure, vulnerability, and what it means to feel safe enough to be seen by your partner. If this brought something up for you, whether that's curiosity, discomfort, or even resistance, stay with that. That is usually where the meaningful work begins. And as always, this is about creating a sex life that feels honest and connected and actually yours. Sex Here and Now is written and recorded by me, Matt Lockman. For more resources, education, or support, you can find me on all social platforms at Cleveland Sex Therapy. Thanks for being here, and as always, stay curious.